Welcome and welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. To those that might be new, we are the Light Renegades. We are a collective of Pleiadian beings bringing you information from the stratospheres that are ever expanding. We are disclosing cosmic secrets and magic secrets, I guess at this point, specifically with this set of channelings from Aleister Crowley. And we are allowing for you to step ever more into your sovereignty and in your power. But if you are here for the first time and you think, why on earth is this all channeling Aleister Crowley? I would suggest starting at the beginning of this series, at the very least, to get a grasp of, how I've come into this space, channeling this fractal of this being, and we receive, the highest highest vibration of this soul possible right now. This soul is definitely still healing in other spaces, and they are here to atone for lifetimes, well, the lifetime that they had incarnated in and previous ones as different entities as well. Which leads me on to my weekend, everyone, and thank you to all of those that sent love, light, and energy. I definitely felt it in my spaces. I was purging a lot, and I had quite I don't know how to describe it, quite an overhaul of some understanding stepping forward, and this was kind of, I guess, like a baptism in a way. I received all of this understanding in a bath, and I was told to, cleanse my body of what I was experiencing, and I think I might go into a little bit more depth about this once I processed it to the capacity that I need to, and I did find myself in a very interesting space on Sunday. Given the space that I'd been in, it very much took me by surprise. I did not know what to expect whatsoever, so please do watch out for the next energetic update, because I think I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about all of that and what exactly happened. But I could very much feel the love and light from all of you, so I appreciate it immensely, and I appreciate you all for stepping forward and embarking on this task is what I want to share. But this message, the message that I channeled for you all today, it is in linear time, everyone. You're going to have to bear with me. I feel like my brain still isn't firing at all cylinders. I'm going through an energetic upgrade at this time in multiple areas, it feels like, so please bear with me. But this channeling today I received as a continuation of a previous message, and I'm going to tag that first video in the description, so you might want to stop here and go and watch the previous channeling, so that you can start on this expanse in linear time is what I want to share. However, if you feel called to just be here in this message today, of course stay where you are. But I was grateful to be back with Aleister. I very much enjoy his energy. I know that my being is almost a fractal of his somewhere to some degree, and I find it difficult to really express how I've come to be in this space channeling such being. I think somewhere I still don't fully understand it myself. I don't think I'm in the brain capacity to fully understand any of this. I don't believe that any soul is right now. I think it's all just ever expanding, and we are just going and rolling with the punches as we go. But I want to say that I couldn't feel any more aligned with the soul in the space that I find myself right now, specifically when delving into aspects of understanding magic and alchemy deeper. I really feel like my soul's essence is just really stepping forward in this space and really eager to just help those out there that perhaps have never experienced magic and alchemy to this degree before, and I think it's going to be such a process that each and every soul experiences in a very individualistic way. And I know that that feels like a statement that you can make about anything, but I think where we are heading right now, it's going to be very important to understand you and your soul deeper, and this channeling very much reflects that. And I thought, okay, there was many things that have been brought to my attention of late that this really aligns within. It's making much more sense to me in the spaces where I've been doing research behind the scenes. So I'm really grateful that I come to a space where I think actually all of this is now falling into place, and I can bring so much more to you. So please do watch this space, everyone. There was going to be more from me this week and other teams of light to help you where you might find yourself right now. But I think everything is just starting to come into real fine alignment in so many spaces that I'm going to be able to bring forward to you, and it's going to be tangible for you and your expanse and your process, which I'm ever grateful for. I feel incredibly humbled, and I think just really glad to be in this space and to be able to share what I can with you, because I do think it's going to help so many. So I applaud you all for being incredibly open-hearted, open-minded in this space. I know that there is a lot that Light Renegades bring forward, and if you are here for the first time, I slap a massive trigger warning on all of our content, because there is so much that is brought forward that is teetering on the edge of the taboo of I guess things that people don't necessarily want to be delving in this lifetime. I too didn't want to be delving into a lot of this lifetime. I was told that I wasn't going to be looking at the darkness, I wasn't going to be looking at the negative reptilian order, yet here I am in the midst of it all. So there is a grand cosmic joke happening at all times with everything, everyone, so please be aware of that. And Aleister's energy comes through. It's such a light-hearted and cheeky and I think just a really fun aspect as well a lot of the time. And, I apologize to anyone that this might trigger in this space. I know that there might be some of you here that have received Alice's teaching and understanding in a very traumatic experiences. And I don't mean to be light of heart in these spaces. It's just where I do find myself connecting in with him. And, if you would like to work deeper in that capacity to understand how you might be able to heal yourself in that space, I'm totally here for that too. And, my utmost love and compassion out to you in the spaces where you might have been, harmed or triggered with his teachings. I know that that's not going to resonate for everyone, but I felt like it was important for me to share that too. So please go lightly, please go well. This is a light-hearted message. I was grateful for it, and I think a really profound one. And we end on a riddle yet again, everyone. I was definitely left scratching my head. And Alistair came through and shared some not so helpful information for me on my own personal journey. He definitely comes in with some information, very profound, and then leaves us on a riddle. I think this is, how he likes to work. And yeah, I'm here for it, is what I want to share. But today's message from Alistair was titled Light, and he started with, "Dear beautiful beings, I'm so very glad to be back with you all again. It has been some time, you have learnt so much, and we are ever stepping forward on a path that you are eager to embark on. Today, I wish to bring forward that I have a task for you all, so many actually stepping forward and up and shone your light where exactly you wanted to understand magic, myself, and all that is, how profound. It has been wonderful to witness so many of you be so accepting of expanse and just willing and eager to learn more. This message be a continuation from a previous understanding, and I'll tag that first message in the description, so you might want to pause here and watch this message before continuing with this one. In a previous session, I'd ask you all to seek out symbols that you were drawn to then understand their meaning and have those be the symbols that you will use to help you move forward in your expanse. So many of you aced this task, and I'm ever grateful to be here, to be a guide for those who are willing to listen, which is incredibly ironic as I never truly listened to anyone. Alas, such is irony, and here we are. Today, my request is that you expand on that which you have already started in research. Some have fell off already, have forgotten that that message even exists, and that's quite all right. Your reminder is here. That was actually me, everyone. I'm going to admit that. However, you have sought out symbols, if you have sought out symbols and their meaning, begin to use them. If you are already at that stage, dive into understanding what these symbols mean in correlation to you. If you are drawn to specific symbols for a reason, you connect with them for a reason. Try and find out what exactly that specific reason is where possible. This may be an exact understanding or a roundabout for some. Also, those that have already started the task of understanding and expanding, this is a big one. I want you to create your own sigil. As moving forward, this will be your ultimate power symbol. This will be the sigil that you use to alchemize anything. Your divine creative essence and will, as it were. I'm going to give you a week to ponder all that I've shared today, but see this as your way to get to know your soul deeper. What it is exactly that you want to connect with. We are creating these tasks so that you can start to understand exactly where you would like to be heading in the days, months, weeks, years, perhaps lifetimes to come. This may seem like a small task, but I promise you the understanding and will of a sigil is mighty. Please make sure that you take time to sit with this task. If a week isn't enough, give yourself the grace to spend more time on this. To some, this may be a half an hour task. To others, this may be days, weeks, months, all dependent upon your soul's expression and expanse. I give a week's grace as this helps this soul stick to a schedule in that which she aligns with in linear understanding in the here and now. However, in the quantum, wherever you receive this session is of pure divine creative force. And then he chuckled. That, however, is not to force the process or to force anything at all in its entirety. Or as this process runs far deeper than many can possibly fathom in the present given time now. All in good time, dear friends, all in good time. And then he signed off with ciao, which I feel was a curveball and a message in itself. And something very interesting was happening as I was trying to read this channeling for you all. I felt like I could see numbers and letters kind of just flickering in the corner of my tablet here. And I think that that might be a specific message for some in terms of coding. Before I was sitting down to create this video, it was 5:05 on the clock, and I wanted to bring that forward because I feel like that's significant for some also. So to those that have been here and you think that, you know, perhaps I didn't spend too much time researching symbols, and now is your reminder to do that again, and then take that a little bit deeper. What do those symbols mean? You know, give that a Google, give that a search, wherever you're finding this might be, you know, internet searches, you might have a book laying around, wherever you are called to find deeper understanding of that. Delve into that, but then also then sit back and think, how might that symbol be connecting to me at a soul's level? And that's, I think, the stage that is incredibly important right now, because there are so many of us out here that can use the same alchemical symbols, but it's about how we understand those symbols and how they work for us that is going to then catapult us forward. And I think this is what aligns us differently from magic that has been in the previous years. And, you know, I think that that statement is very broad to say, but I'm going to use just a broad statement so you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. So the idea of that any symbol used has its own specific power, but then if you add your soul's essence to that symbol, it then changes the understanding of that symbol somewhere. And I think that's a part of magic that we haven't quite got into a deeper capacity of understanding up until this point, because we were living in such a, you know, a black and white understanding, and now we are understanding that there is just ultimate and ever expanse in any given time. And I think that's a bit that Alistair and Teams of Light are trying to get us into, is this understanding that we hold the power. You know, we're creating these individual sigils for ourselves because that is going to be our own personal power symbol. And I've trained as a Reiki master, so I'm not, you know, shy to symbols and that understanding. And I think that me understanding my process of how I've then used symbols in that capacity and how that has shaped my practice, but then also how I've kind of overridden, not sure, brain's not working, ridden that understanding. And now my practice has changed so much from when I first started to train in Reiki to where I find myself right now. You know, I do use the symbols, but in a very different way. And sometimes, you know, it's not even the symbols, it's just a light that comes through that I know is that symbol. So we're trying to think outside of the box. And I think this is perhaps going to be sacrilege to some, excuse the triggers in that perhaps for some, because we are going to try and understand magic and alchemy in a very different way than I think it's been brought forth before. So I'm incredibly grateful for Alistair's understanding, because, you know, I think he did know so much. He was definitely infiltrated somewhere to some degree. He's admitted that. You can go and find out more about that if you start at the beginning of this series. But there was so much that he did learn in his lifetime. And now we are almost, you know, catapulting off what he has already learned. So for me, this is like absolutely mind-blowing. I didn't even know that this was a space that I wanted to be in / thrive in, but I seem to be, you know, ever more excited in these spaces, getting to understand alchemy and magic at these capacities, everyone. So take your time with this. I will be sharing another message from Alistair next week. Like he said, that's just to help me keep it a schedule. But however you receive these messages, if you know, have fallen off, forgotten the message, I did forget the message. There's been other spaces that I've been in. We've all been there too, so that's okay. But just jump back in whenever you feel called. And I promise you, whenever you feel called to be receiving these messages and, you know, implementing these understandings, that's when it's most divinely aligned for you. So please don't shame yourself in any of this content, anything that you feel like, you know, perhaps have forgotten about, or there's anything not just even connected to what we are sharing today, anything that you think, oh, you know, I was told this like such a long time ago, but I haven't delved back into it again, and etc. It's okay. You are exactly where you're supposed to be in your journey at any given time. I don't want these messages to feel like a pressure, to feel like you have to be, you know, doing things in this linear time and give yourself a week or whatever. I want this to just be a space where you are exploring, and for it to be fun. I want this to be fun for everyone. I don't want this to be a chore. There's so many spaces where so much information and content has been so heavy and just so dark, so harrowing. I'm very grateful that we now get to a space where, you know, we can have a little bit of a play, we can have a little bit of exploration, and yeah, we're going to delve into magic and alchemy. Like, that's at least super cool to me, but I'm a massive nerd somewhere. So let me know how you're feeling, everyone, about this in the comments in the description. And, you know, please do converse with each other with how far you've got with your symbols. If you want to share what your symbols are, you know, feel free to do so. I know some people like to keep that as a private practice. That's completely fine too. But yeah, it's just nice to be in a space of exploring all of this with all of you. You know, I've been doing so much research behind the scenes, and now I get to share what I've got with all of you, and for this to be a help in our expansion and yeah, our ascension, which is, to me, is just a beautiful understanding in itself. But I think that best be all for myself and Alistair today. Ciao. That feels like something for someone, at least probably for many of you out there. But it's always a riddle with Alistair. But that's all from us today, and I'll be back real soon. Take care.